All right.
I'm not told you. Okay.
All right. So today is Thursday, September 19th, 2019. My name is Geoffrey Cravero, and with me is Tiffany Rivera. I'm speaking with Earline Tillman and Beverly Albert in the Parramore neighborhood.
Beverly Albert North.
What's that?
Beverly Albert North.
Oh, Beverly Albert North, thank you. In the Parramore neighborhood of Orlando, Florida. Ms. Tillman and Ms. Albert, thank you for speaking with us. Let's begin with some of your biography. Could you each just tell us a little about where you're originally from and a little about your upbringing?
Okay. Who? Me?
You go first.
Okay, I was born in Griffin Park. And my mother, she was young, and she was living with her mother-in-law. So I guess she said she couldn't raise no baby, so she brought me to her mother. And that's where I was raised, on Collier Street with my grandmother, which I thought I was born on Collier Street until I saw my birth certificate. And I seen that I was born in the project, which was Griffin Park. And I said, no wonder I always wanted to stay in the project. That was my home anyway, you know. And I went to Uncle Street School, which was formerly Kentucky. And I went to, during that time when we are, like now they have middle school and junior high. We didn't have that. We went from Jones High from 7th grade to 12th grade. And our 7th and 8th grade, which would have been our middle school, was at Jones. So we grew up with a lot of the older people that was like 5 and 6 years older than us. And they took that from us real well. So, and we learned a lot, you know, because they would teach us and would help us, you know, because they thought they were grown, so they said, okay, I'm going to teach you this, you know, especially at my church. I was in my Mount Pleasant Missionary Baptist Church, which my great-grandmother and they all was founding members of that church. And it was built by Reverend Umstead. And one of his, well, I graduated with Ralph Umstead, that was his granddaddy. And most, like we were saying earlier, you know, that Orlando was very close people. Everybody knew we knew what part of town you lived on because there was only one school. You know, everybody went to that one school. At that particular time, there's one elementary school. And then we had small kindergarten, preschool, what they call them now. And that was like Miss O.C., Miss Mary Hillier, Miss Thornton, you know, and some of the churches. And they taught us before we went into elementary school. And so basically when we started elementary school, we could read and write. And because we had older sisters and brothers and aunts and uncles that we lived with, they taught us. Because they were helping themselves, I guess, now that I gotten older, I think that that's what they were doing, and they would play school with us. And that's how we would be ahead on certain things when we got in first grade. You're amazed.
I told you I got the right person. Okay, I'm Earline Tillman. My maiden name was Allen. I was born on Livingston Street. I attended Callahan Elementary School. From there, I went to Jones High School for 6 years because Beverly said you had to go from elementary to high school. After high school, I went to Maryland State College. After that, I stayed there 2 years, moved back home, got married, and I finished from Florida Southern University. After that, I have always stayed in Orlando. I've been here after my husband came from Vietnam. And Jones High School was the place where everyone was family. As Beverly has said, everybody knew everybody. The teachers there was more involved with you. Your personal life, your school life. I was in the Jones High School marching band. And I hope that that it will always be a Jones High School. Okay.
What was life like growing up in Parramore?
I think that it was good because at that time we didn't know about integration. We were so segregated. We enjoyed each other. And growing up in Parramore, you learn how to accept other people when you were around other people. See, I didn't know about white people until I went to college, really, because I was not involved with other races. We were just predominantly black, and everything we did was around black people, black churches, black theaters, and a black school.
What about for you? What was life like growing up?
It was basically the same. And another thing, like she was saying, we could walk up and down Parramore and wasn't afraid. We could walk up and down Church Street and wasn't afraid. We could walk late at night. We could see, someone could see us and they say, you know, they wouldn't call you by your name, but they know who you belong to. You gotta go home. You gotta go home to Polo. You gotta go home to David. And I was saying, oh, my mom and dad was married. I am in Howard. You know, but they knew my grandmother raised me, and they knew the house that I lived in, and that was the name of it. You don't stand on this corner and talk. You go home. Why are you standing up there? You go home. I don't care who it is. They know you. You know, even when I start paying mama bills, she would tell me, go straight down Westmoreland, go straight down Church Street, and you go down there and you pay the light bill, you pay the, you know, everything was all in an envelope. And we went to those different places, you know, and you brought everything back with the receipt. And the white people say, oh, you belong to Polo. Okay, make sure you take this back to your grandmother. Take it right back like it is. And this is what we did. And then, what you call it, the JCs, not the JCs, it was another organization. When my brother got in trouble, Mr. Purcell, he knew the name, and he called my grandmother and asked, is this one of your boys? And so she said, yeah. She said, he just didn't do anything, he just won't go to school. You know, he said, well, I'm gonna take him under my wings. Mama said, okay. He gave my brother a job down at his store. And my brother he learned how to do certain things because of this man. And my grandmother had an account there, you know. And like, we wanted like Easter or something like that, and we needed something. Mama say, I'm gonna call Purcell, and you go down there and you do what whoever he got to look after you do. We got our shoes and our socks, we got our little dresses and everything. We put it, they told, don't open that bag up until you get home. And so we would take it home to mama, and if she didn't like it, we tear it back. But if 9 times out of 10 she did, you know. And then she said, and you better not mess it up, because I gotta pay for this, you know, like that. And my mom and my dad, they always lived up north, and they would send money home, stuff like that, you know. But like she was saying, she went off to school. I did too. I went into 6 different schools. But anyway, I traveled because I was married to a military person, and I was able to go to Louisiana, Colorado, I went overseas, and Minnesota, different. I got to go a lot of places, you know. And then I came back home within about 30 years. But I would come home visiting and everything. And the last time I came home, when I went to Belgium, I was so gung-ho because the kids there, and I was going to come and do so much. And, you know, volunteer. She used to take me because she had her grandchildren, taking them, you know. And we were doing different things. And so much has changed, though. You know, it's not like we were used to doing, and the different people in the neighborhood doing for each other, you know. It's just all together. We don't even know our neighbors no more, you know. It's just, you know, different. And all the stores and different things we had on the corners, and you could run around there. Like, Mama would say, go around to Becky's and get a loaf of bread. And I said, Mom, I called Becky and told Becky to give you a loaf of bread. And so you don't mash the bread. You know, and during that time, bread was a nickel. You know, now bread $3 and $4 a loaf, you know. And whatever she would say, sometimes it was a long list, you know, she would write it on there and she would tell us to go to Becky, you know, and that was part of Tip Tops. And then she would write it on there and check it off and put it all in the bag. Take it straight home, I'm gonna call your grandmama, make sure you didn't stop, you know. People look, you know, it was just different.
And you know, most of the stores was owned by blacks.
They were.
We were just predominant black area in Parramore, in all the stores. You had to go on Orange Avenue before you really saw someone who was white. Because the beauty salon, the restaurants, all of them, the little corner store we used to call them, they were blacks, black owned. This is the list that we have, over 100 places that was blacks from Colonial Drive all the way to the end of
To the Parramore.
Yeah, that was owned by blacks. Now it's different.
And even with Holden Street School, they didn't have a lunchroom at that particular time. And on the corner of Orange Blossom Trail and at the time it was Holden Street was Mr. Turner, my cousin's grand uncle. And about 3 or 4 doors down in the next block was this, what was the lady name? We used to sneak through the hole to run over there to get candy. And you got 2 big cookies for a penny. You know, so you carried your 5 cents at school, you know, and put it in your shoe to keep it. And so we would go to it and we would get, like, they didn't want us to get any candy. And we carried our lunch, but you still got the pennies, you know, to go over to I almost called her name, it may be on the list. And she would have, sometimes she would cook pie. She would cook pie, and she would slice a little pie, you know, slice a little pie. And this isn't enough for my nickel. You better, girl, you better get that and go on out. And it was just, the people was different. You know, everything was just different, you know. And I miss a lot of that, because you can run down the street, you know, and even like if your father, y'all had a store, you know, and we can go in there and they knew us. They knew where we came from. You gotta go on back down to Abbott. They call, you know, they call everybody by their first name. Go to Abbott, you know, and we'll run and we'll bring it home. Mom said, where you get that from? We'll tell her. He'll call you back. Did you give Beverly this? Or did you give Richard this? Did you give Earline this? See, you couldn't carry nothing home without your parents knowing where you got it from, you know. And then you can't talk back to other grown people, because they're gonna call your mama or they're gonna come down there, and then you go get a whip. And if you say, Mama, is she lying? And you can't say, you know, it just was a different thing. And the teachers walked with us from the school, because on the street that I lived on, that I was raised on, College Street, we had Miss Baker, we had Miss Rose, Miss Donka Rose, catacorning from our house to South Street. There was Miss Washington, there were Miss Brayboy on South Street, Miss Weaver, you know, and then we had ministers and everything. All the people were in the neighborhood. Everybody was in the neighborhood. And even when we went to church in summer, Bible study. This week, it may be at Mount Pleasant. Next week, it may be at, what is the name of the church? Mount Zion. You know, it went from, and they kept the kids busy. You know, and then the same thing at the parks. And we used to, when they, the different parks, like they had one at Callahan, they had one at Carter Street Park, and Lake Man. Every project or area had a playground and things that did. And at the end of the year, when it's almost time to go back to school, we have a big closeout right here at the park. And they done taught a dance, and each playground, we had a dance, and whoever had the best dance, they would get a trophy. Like, I never forget the last year that I participated, Thelma Spade. She taught us a dance with the rackets. Like, just hitting the, and it was real, and we won that year. And it was just different things. Even the guys, they boxed. They was taught how to do things, without hitting. And it was just, people taught us things. But now the children are not being taught,
And during my time, the streets were dirt streets. We didn't have paved streets. So you could play in the street, and rent was $7 a month. So that was different, when you look at $7 now, you say, what can I do with $7? But that's a big difference. We finally got Livingston Street paved. I think we was getting ready to move to Washington Shores when they decided, when I say they, the city, decided to pave Federal Street, Livingston Street, Westmoreland, all the streets around.
But my grandmother, we had to pay the paved street, which was $200 for the area, because she owned the house.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody that owned house property along that street had to pay, but they section. And so, Reverend Rayboy and his family owned almost the whole block. And I asked my grandmama, I was sitting there, I said, Mama, if we paying $200, how much Reverend Rayboy and Dr. Rayboy them paying? Mama said, I don't know, for every house they got on there, they got to pay $200, And it was just, and then that was another thing about the fruit. They had the front of their house was on South Street. In the back, because there was so much property, it could be in other houses. They had all this fruit in the back. We used to dump the fence. We used to have a good time. And the people, they didn't fight us. Tony, they needed the door closed because they thinned.
Y'all got to check it off.
Huh?
Check the lady out in the office.
Okay, all right. So anyway, we would jump over the fence and get people's stuff, And then, I'm gonna tell your grandmama, but they never did. We would get the guavas, they had guava trees, fig trees, everything around here. Now you don't have anything.
And living over here, where UCF is now, they used to be the fairgrounds. And once a year, the fair came, and they would give us one day out of school to go to the fair free. That was a big thing for us, and we really enjoyed it. So, a lot of things have changed over there, where UCF was. Houses, most of the houses in my area was rented. The people didn't own that many houses in the area that I came from. I was between Colonial Drive and Robinson Street. And
What other, what kinds of games did you play as children? What did you do for fun?
we played baseball, hopscotch, marbles. The boys played football in the street. Basketball was not a big thing in my area because we was not close to a park. What else do we play? Hide and seek. What else? Jumping rope. We played that game. Tag. We played that game. Red light. What else? Oh, there's quite a few
Tell
games.
us how we walked on stilts then.
Oh yeah, we used to walk on stilts. The old men would make us stilts and we'd walk on those.
And another thing, College Street Park, when I was coming up, they had the Negro baseball. Every Sunday afternoon after church, we go to the ball game. If they have a game going, from different areas, and it was different people coming in. And we had one guy, they called him Choo Coleman. I don't know whether you ever heard of him, but you can look him up on the computer. Choo Coleman could hit the ball all the way out of the park. And he was the first black guy from Orlando to play with the major and the minor leagues. They sent him to California. And he ended up, before he retired, I forgot. Anyway, his wife was a beautician and everything. And his mother, Miss Coleman, had a little store on Carter Street. And as we passed by that coming from school and going to school, we would stop at Miss Coleman and get something. But in the morning, we couldn't get anything. She told us, you better take how much money you got? And we told, you go buy lunch. And then if you got anything left, come, like that. And, that's the way it was done. And then on the corner of South Street and Parramore was a boxing ring. When I was a little girl, we all went down and we saw Joe Louis fight. And my uncle, Harry Dankins, he and, what was the blind boy's name? He became blind. Stayed over there where you stayed. Babe Lancaster. He was more of a pro boxer, but he got hit and he went blind. But my uncle, one guy got injured and died, and another guy, Babe, my uncle said that's it. He stopped, boxing. But coming up, I just got to see a lot of people that became famous and that were famous, like I said, Joe Louis, also the Minnesota Twins. This was their summer where they would come and practice here out at the Tinker Field. And we would go and peep through the fence, so go and watch them play ball. And Martin Luther King and a few other people, they were able to go and come out to the park, because that was the only big place we had to go, in order to see people. And my sister and I wasn't supposed to go. And what happened, we went out the back window for her to go to see Martin Luther King. And then I had to let her back in. But my grandmother had gone to sleep. And I told her, I said, now, if you come back late, and if you see the front light on, and that means Mama's still up, and she would have to sit on the steps, until I could let her in, and she got to see Martin Luther King. Because she was supposed to go to the airport to see him. My grandmother said no, because she didn't want to have to bury him, And so she cried because she didn't get to see Martin Luther King at the airport. But one of my classmates did. Matter of fact, if you see a picture where she went, that they always put it in the paper every now and then, and she's in there, and Sandra Poster, and I was going to tell you something else that slipped my mind. Oh yeah, when we was integrated. I went to Shiloh. I used to go down there and draw for Carrie. She's gone now. She was a secretary, and I would put the hands on the bulletin or cross on the bulletin or something like that. So and I said, Reverend Jackson. I said, you know, the kids all up, no, marching and doing this and doing that. Why we don't do nothing like that? And so he said, you want to do that? I said, yeah. So they got us all together, you know, different ones that wanted to come. So we joined the NAACP, right? So we practiced and we're going to go downtown and sit at Woodward and the other one that we went through the Crest, yeah. And corner was Rexall drugstore, and everybody was going in, you know, and they were sitting in, sitting down, you know, and Samuel Jennings and myself, we was the lookout people, and they had given us all these nickels, and if anything happened, we supposed to call in, and if anybody go to jail, we had to tell who all was going to jail. Okay. Across the street was the bank, First National Bank, and it had telephone coin. So we over there. The truck, they loading up, and they putting everybody in the truck. And we on the phone telling who all was getting in the truck and everything. So one of the policemen, deputies, they looked back and they called us in. That was two of them niggas going on. We took off. I dropped the phone. Sam and I never ran so fast in all my life. I ran all the way through the, you know, we've always taught, you don't go between these houses. You know, you stay on the street. I went all through the houses. And when I got to Shiloh, I didn't walk in. I didn't run in. You would have thought I was made a home run. I slid in. And so, young Jackson said, what's going on? You was on the phone and you didn't even hang up the phone. I could hear noise. And I said, oh, they was going to get us. They was going to get us. I ain't going to make that no more. But I got my breath together. And Dr. Hankins and Miss Mabel Butler and a lot of people, most of them are dead now. And the attorney, he was young at that time. And Wolfall. Those, yeah, Perkins and all those, they were our, you know, to get us out of jail and everything. So anyway, I was scared to go home because my sister had gone to jail and she wasn't 15. And they didn't know she was that young. And during that time, we didn't have what we have now. They had to go to the stockade out on Colonia Drive. So when I went home, I got a whip. My grandmother had these mulberry switches. She said, where your sister? I said, she said, I know. Because I got to take the deed to my house. Now I never get out. But instead, Miss Mabel Richardson, Miss Mabel Richardson, that's where I got a lot of this information from my granddaughter. Anyway, she put up the bond for my sister. My grandmama said, you let your sister go to jail, you the oldest. And I said, Mama, she wanted to go. I was a lookout person. I'm hollering, Mama, please don't hit me, don't leave. So then when Louise came home, Louise had called Cole in jail. And it was just one thing, but she was determined to see Martin Luther King. So when they had the national convention for the NAACP out in Denver, Colorado, Louise got to go. And that was another mess, because she had nosebleed. And you know, the high altitude. She wanted to come home. She Mama they kept calling, saying what was going on with my grandmother, you know, old fashioned. Take a brown bag and put it over her head. Take some keys. You know, they have all these old remedies and stuff. And take some keys and take them over her head and it'll stop it from bleeding. Don't let her lay back, you know, and Mama on the phone. And during that time, you know, when we had an old phone, our phone cost $5, and it would click off. And then you had a party line. And then somebody said, well, what happened? And Mama said, get off this phone. I got to call back. You know, it was just, you know, like I said, everything was different. And then by the time Mama got off the phone, everybody in the neighborhood knew because it was a party line. And there's about 3 or 4 people on the party line. And everybody done picked up because they want to use their phone and they hear the conversation. So now they done told everybody in the neighborhood what done happened. You know that little girl and this one up there and she bleeding to death and now, you know, And so Mom said, Lord have mercy. Now the whole neighborhood know what's going on. And so when Louise came back, you know, they were looking at Louise and saying, let me see your nose, let me see your nose. But I guess the people thought by her being up there and they was marching and she got hit in the nose. But she didn't get hit in the nose, she just had a nose bleed, you know, when you persecuted. But it's a lot of good things and there's a lot of, you know, bad things. But most of our stuff was, and they used to tell us, you remember when they told us we weren't going to go to college?
Oh, yeah.
Because we went to jail. And they said we weren't going to be able to get in college because we didn't have a record. We need to stop this. And they would say, I don't know why y'all acting like this because you get everything. And it did come out in the Every magazine and everything that Orlando was the most complacent place they have ever been with black people. And they had never seen black people living in a project with Cadillacs. You know? And people did. People wanted something, they went and bought it. You know, they got it. You know, one way or another, they went to Orange Grove and they got what, you know. But we had a nice, as far as I know, and then that's when I found out as I got older, you know, I didn't know the projects was the slum, the ghetto. I didn't know that, you know, until I got older and left Orlando, you know. And I used to think Edenville was a long ways, you know. And then I found out I could walk to Edenville, you know, when we was teenagers. And different places, you know, you just, and you learn things as you got older and older. And then that's when I said, I want to see the world. And that's when I started traveling, you know. I went off to school, my dad died, and I went to school on the GI Bill. And my girl would fuss about that. Oh, I said, Mom, I'm coming back home. She said, you come home, you got to get a job. I said, Mom, I don't want to go to school all my life. She said, you need to learn something. Your aunt around here trying to go to school, trying to be somebody. Your uncle's son did this. I said, Mom, I want to travel. And I came home and Mom said, you got to get a job. So I went, which at that time was Orange Memorial. And we were still in the basement at that time. We wasn't like it is now. We were in the basement. And I was working in dietary, and I would do the napkins and everything. And my first paycheck, we didn't get paychecks. The money was counted out and was put in the envelope, and it was written on there how many hours you and how much money. Now during that time, $50 for 2 weeks was a lot of money. And sometimes you didn't get but $40, okay? And sometimes you didn't get that much, right? So, my first little money I got, oh, I was so happy because I was going to get me some ballerina shoes. During that time, that was the style, ballerina shoes. But my grandmother, I couldn't wear that. Mama said she had to buy something, we had to have something that's going to last. Those sell-off shoes, black and white, and brown and white, and loafers. Those the kind of shoes we wore to school the whole year. I wanted to wear shoes like you got on, like other kids would wear. Mama said, you're not wearing that mess. Don't last long, and this is what you're going to wear, you know. And that's what, you know, and I cried because Mama took the money. Mama said, you got to pay like everybody else in the house. I cried. I said, Mama, that's my money. I work for it. She said, everybody else worked for theirs too. My uncles and all that was saying, they pay, you pay.
Most homes had two parents in it. Now, you don't have two parents in the house. That was really great to come up with two parents in the house. And most of the men here had to work in the orange groves. We didn't have any jobs. Orlando was not a place for jobs. Most of the women had to do maid work. But they had to do something because we had to survive. And I think that's why so many of us left Orlando, went to the service, or tried to go to college, because most of the parents say, you got to go, you got to go, you got to get out of this. We didn't make any progress until Walt Disney came. That's when really more jobs, more opportunities came along. But other than that, very, very quiet around the Parramore area for opportunities. And most of the teachers, they lived in the neighborhood. Miss Hodges was the principal at Callahan. She lived across the street. She lived on Parramore. She was the principal. And most, Mrs. Scales, and she lived on my street. Mr. Cosby across the street on Callahan, because it was not spread out like it was. And I think in they built Washington, the units, what were those called? The homes in Washington Shores.
Oh, Johnson Village?
Yeah,
That was for the soldiers.
Late land, they were for the soldiers.
And then, they came home, went to career, and like my dad was in World War II. And they had out in Johnson Village, they looked like little chicken houses, and they were all painted this pale color, but they looked like a little, but they only paid $5,000 for those. And they didn't have to pay, they didn't have the money to do the paperwork, but the paperwork was $5. And so my uncle, I never forget, he came home and he told Mama, he said, I'm going to buy a house. Mama said, with what? You working? My uncle would do construction work. And she said, you're out there doing this and doing that. How are you going to pay for something? Because you're not making that much money. He said, I'm going to get a house and I'm going to get it on the GI Bill. And he said, I need $5. Mama said, you better bring me some paper back so I can see what you did with them $5. And my uncle went out to Johnson Village, and he was one of the first, along with, I can't think of his name. Anyway, it was quite a few children that we went to school with. Their fathers and all, they, went and they bought these houses. And Mama was so proud that her son had bought a house. But when we went out there, they were like blue, pink, yellow. They all look just like, Mama said, these look like little chicken houses. But they were 2-bedroom homes, and they had a home. And if you go out there now, you would see a lot of the people that stayed there and raised their children, they added on to their homes, And it's still a nice little community out there. But Mama used to tickle me about that. Mama said, little chicken house, go on out there to the chicken house and see what you can do. My aunt, my uncle's wife wore braces because she had polio when she was a child. She wore braces on both legs. And sometimes I would have to go out there and do things. And I would catch the school bus. And like people fussed about the school bus. We loved the school bus. Like people didn't like busing and everything. We would get on Mr. Henson. You live in town. I thought, where you going? I'm going to my uncle's house. You're not supposed to get on the bus. Mr. Henson. You go sit down. Or you stand up. But nobody cared. We had a good time on the bus. And you jump off, okay. And then a lot of us walked from Jones High to Washington Shores. And sometimes I said, I can't believe I used to walk this far,
When I had to walk from Livingston Street to Jones High School, and they fuss about 2 miles. Now, and kids getting up early, that was early to walk from 8 o'clock. School starts at 8, but we had to walk. We never had a bus.
Tell them about the rain, how we had to walk home
We
in
had
the water.
to walk in the water. You couldn't wear pants to school. You had to put on a dress. And we walked in the water.
You take the dress and tie it between your legs and you walk. Sometimes the water would be up to your knees, up to and walk. And then Mama said, well, I'm not going to whip you for messing up your dress because it rained today.
See, we had to keep that on all day. Plus, I had to go to band practice all day. So that was really changed. You can put on pants now. Yes, it's a big change. A big change from where we came from. A big change. We did have a fire station.
Yeah.
We had one fire station that was on Central Street that stayed there how long it did.
And then it take care of everything.
You take care of everything. You went to the hospital in the funeral home cars.
Yeah.
If you needed to go, had an emergency, you had to call
Brinson.
or Starks to take you to the Orange Memorial, Orlando Regional now,
And you go to the basement, you know.
or the hall.
And don't let the funeral home car come up. Everybody come running out. Everybody come running out. Who in there? Who in there? Oh, this the Polo car. Oh Lord, Mama said I'm right here. You know, Papa was somebody, you know, but it was just
That's the only way you could get there.
and
If you
everybody
had an emergency, otherwise you was in a car trying to make it to the hospital.
and the cab.
And
Mr.
the cab.
Mr. P.
Mr. P. Yeah,
50 cent, 25 cent to ride the cab.
to the hospital.
And that was on the corner of
Parramore and
Anderson. It used to be
Yes.
Hogan Street. And he was there for years. And a lot of time he would ride you, you didn't have the money.
And his building is still there.
Still there.
It's an old building, but it's still there.
You talked a little bit about some of the businesses you remembered. To talk a little more about what kinds of businesses you remember in Parramore and maybe who owned and operated some of those?
Yes.
I know you have your list.
We have a list.
You can just mention a few that you would stand out to you.
Well, I do a few of them, like the cab stand. We called it cab stand during that time. That was Mr. Pete. We had several. We had
The barbecue stand.
We had Johnson Diner. That was on the corner of Parramore and Robinson. We had several.
The insurance company. Down there by the, what you call
What's the name?
it? What? The insurance company?
I'm trying to stop on Colonial Drive and come on down Parramore to see the name of the business. Now, I don't know the name of the pharmacy in front of Callahan. Do you remember that? My sister worked there. He was right in front.
No. The only ones I remember is Dr. Beverly and Hankins.
Okay. And the pharmacy on Parramore and the Harbor.
I was looking on here to see what you, because I got Church Street, Parramore.
Okay. Mr. Mosby had a cleaners. They were on Parramore, the Mosby.
The Kellys had a restaurant,
Yes.
and that's where the theater was too.
And Carver
Theater. And we had a what was that warehouse? It was a warehouse. Every black person went to that warehouse to get stuff or fix the house or whatever. And then on the corner of it's still there, on the corner of Church Street and Westmoreland, we call it the feed place. We call it the feed house because they had chickens and everything. And my grandma, we used to have a lot of chickens in the backyard. And the biddies, we would get the biddies for Easter. We ended up eating the biddies. Because they would grow the chickens. Mama, once the color go off them and everything, they start becoming real chickens. And then when the chicken mama throw them over there was the other chicken. And Lord, we had to eat it. We tried to see if we could remember what chicken was the chicken, and we didn't want to eat the chicken, And we had ducks. Mama had a little of everything. And the first time I ever seen a double yolk egg was Mama had these chickens, and they would be so fat. and they would lay eggs, and we had to go out there to get the eggs. You better not let them eggs hatch. I said, Mama, the chicken just laid the eggs today. Go out there and get them chickens. I was scared of the chicken because they be pecking you, and the rooster gonna run at you, you know, and it would be a mess. And sometimes you got to pick that chicken up and take her off the nest, you know. God and shit and so. Anyway, you know, we having a hard time, and we get the eggs out and put them in the basket, you know, and take them in the house. And one morning, Mama broke the egg. She broke the egg, and it was 2 y'all. I said, she's gonna have twins. I said, Mama, why we? I said, she's gonna have, and my brother said, something wrong with that chicken, he got to, you know, we didn't kill that chicken, you know. And that was another thing, I learned how to wring the chicken neck. Boy, but one time, my first time trying to wring the chicken neck, I had the worst time. The chicken was too big, and I'm trying to wring it, and her feet was, you know, and she kicking and everything. I throw her down. Mom said, you better pick her up, and Mama ended up buying me a little hatchet. So I would have to cut her neck off. And Lord, I didn't want to eat the chicken, but you're hungry. You know, and Mama had a little garden in the back. You know, during that time, a lot of people had gardens, and they would take the waste from the chickens that we had to go out there and scrape out to clean out the pen and put it in a bucket, and like different ones would come and get it that didn't have it, they had these things, and that's what they fertilized. We used to have the prettiest and the best greens and carrots and stuff. First time I found out that's what Mama was doing with the waste from this, I didn't want it. Mama said, well, you won't be eating. And I would sit there and they'd be eating, I'd be so hungry. I said, well, let me taste it. And it would be good. But, you know, she washed and cut it up and cleaned everything. But it's the idea, you seeing what, you know, what they use for fertilizer. And we even took the carrots and pulled them out. Susie can tell you about that. Susie loved the carrots. So we would have to pull the carrots out of the ground. Sometimes we didn't even wash them, eat the carrots and stick their head back in. Because we didn't want Mama to know we eating up the carrots, okay? Mama, the head started withering. Mama said they were coming up so pretty, what happened? And she was trying to see why did they die, did a gopher get in there or whatever, you know? Anybody see that? She pulled up and seen that we had ate the carrot. Mama she got the switch. She said, okay, who ate the carrot? I said, Mama Susie ate it. She came across that fence, and Louise was riding her bicycle, and she gave, everybody got a cooking. Don't care who did it, everybody got a cooking. You know. And my grandmother, she could cook real good. She used to fix these big mulberry noodles. That's what we call them. But I never seen her pick the berries and everything. When we came home from school, we had food. And during that time, we had a wooden stove that you put the wood in. I would eat the mulberry food. But one day, Mama sent me out there to get some mulberries. They had worms. I was scared of the mulberries. I was hollering, Mama, these mulberries got worms in it. They ain't like the ones you got. Mama said, you just as crazy. You've been eating them worms all your life. You put them in. And my grandma, if you had known my grandma, she said, bring them things on in here. And I was scared of them because they were little bitty worms, you know, and the berries and everything. Mama would put them in the sink and she would put that hot water on them and wash everything out. Mama used to wash stuff to death. She would just, you know, she would put it in there and the worms would come up, floating. I said, Mama, look at that. She said, take the spatula, either the, what you call it, that you sift for the flour in. Anyway, we take the sifter and scoop them up and put them over there and then run that water out. And then we'll put them back in and let the others, you know, until you got them all washed and clean and all buried, you know. Now, if you leave any worms in that, that means you go eat because it go be in the, you know. Lord, From then on, I didn't eat no more mulberry doobie. I couldn't eat, and now I don't even eat, what you call it, cobbler. I don't eat
You
cobbler.
know,
The
we
peaches.
also had for instance, funeral home on Parramore Street. Most of the businesses were on Church, Terry Street, South Street. There was a lot of places, like Joe's Barber Shop on Church Street. We had the Quarterback Club on South Street. We had Tip Top Grocery Store. We had
My family hotel, Chambers Hotel. That's where all the gospel singers used to go and stay in there.
It was quite a few businesses up and down and around Parramore. Like I said, all the side streets, they had quite a few. Carver Theater, the Lincoln Theater. That's the only places we can go. Carver and the Lincoln Theater. Majority of the people went to the Carver Theater.
And they had a lot of barber shops, a lot of beauty shops. Oh my gosh. On the street that I was raised on, it was full beauty shops. And they stayed full, you know. And the people would get up sometime 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning before they go to work and go get their hair done.
A lot of people in that area.
Yeah.
Because really there was no cars. That many people did not have a car, so you're walking everywhere you go.
So Parramore's obviously experienced some changes over the years. You've talked about some of them. Could you tell us a little about some of those changes and what you saw as their causes and what caused some of the major changes in the neighborhood?
You really don't want me to answer that. Okay, well the changes are, it seems as though that area is becoming more of a middle class, more than a middle class area. Because affordable houses, there's no such thing as affordable housing unless you're gonna get a better job to afford somewhere to stay. And the changes is, most of the homes are gone. They're moving towards Pine Hills area. A lot of changes have been made. Like UCF, it took away a lot of things, okay? The school board decided to move over there. They came off of Tampa Avenue. They moved in that area. So the changes is really pushing the people. They really don't have anywhere to go. You can't buy a house at the prices that they want to give you for the property over there. And when they say this little unit they just built over here affordable, it's not affordable. You got to have a decent job to live over here in the Parramore area now.
Parramore apartments that they building now, right over there. Who go pay $1,500? We don't make that kind of money. Even the people that used to pay $400 or $300 a month, they having to pay $9 and $11. They don't have the money. I was hoping my cousin came where I went and got a lot of this from. She's having a family where the girl and her 4 children, they living in the car. You know. And she let them come in the house one by one and take a shower. You know, this is not good.
It's not.
You know.
I feel that the people who are in office now, they pick this area. I know it's old, don't get me wrong. But why not rebuild for these people that was in old homes? You pick this area because you want to be like the big cities, a big downtown area. But you're not helping those people that need to be moved. You can't find a $65,000 house nowhere.
And you can't buy those houses right across the
The
street over
average
there.
person down here,
They $200,000.
right, the average person down here is still making $8 an hour. Or they on Social Security,
Like,
yeah, so,
I'm too old anyway to buy a house.
yeah.
It's just really, I know when I came back here, I was so excited about different things that I had seen in other cities, like Detroit, Denver. There was another place that had the same program. It wasn't in Shreveport. It was, the program is that they had a fish bowl, that's what they call it. And they had housing. Instead of tearing down the houses, they would, like you put your name in, and they'll tell you what house is up, you know, the houses that are up. And whatever, if they draw this, your name out, and this is the house, it's one, you get that house. And they give you a year to fix that house without paying any rent, without doing anything. If you can stay in that house, a lot of people, because my uncle got one in Detroit, if you can stay in that house, because a lot of people, which I've seen in different areas, they're able to fix it up and live in a room or whatever as they went that year, and whatever they would do, and they would, you know, live in there until they got it all done. And then the people, which would be the city, would come out and investigate it, and they would see if it's in the condition that it should be still to live in. And if you pass, they still will give you time to pass because you have put a lot into it, you know. And sometimes you may have gotten laid off or something like that, but they still would help you, you know, finish that house. And I've seen where a lot of families and their children has moved in these homes, and instead of them somewhere paying rent, all they was paying was utilities and buying the supplies and stuff to fix up their home. And they could have did that here in Orlando. You know, the way Orlando is and the different people and what it is here, they could do that here. And I asked that several times, and oh, well, that's not, you know, but I have seen it work. You know. And if they can do that other places, they can do it here.
Do you remember when they built I-4?
Yeah.
What sort of effect did that have?
Well, a lot of people didn't want to move because they had to sell their house and go to another.
And they had
I know there were wooden homes, but
It was
if you want me
theirs.
to move, give me more to move. A lot of people I know had to move from over there. They struggle, like I say, $8 an hour. 20-some years ago, it's still $8 an hour in some places.
Now, my brother was fortunate to get in that home, but he was living in a rented house. He and my mother and his wife. And what happened is, my mother chose to go to stay with my grandmother and gave what they were given for a down payment to my brother, which is Richmond Heights. His house is paid, he's dead now, but his wife and his daughter is in that house. And by them being able to get that house, both of his children was able to go to college because of the price that they were paying and the condition that they got the house, you know. And my sister-in-law, she got her business in the house, that's why we take a lot of our business to her. And she lives in the house. And her daughter went off to school and everything. Now she's staying in the house and she was helping her mother. She was helping her with the printing because my sister-in-law have a printing business, you know. And my niece, she teaches school. But her brother, he went out and bought his home, first time buyer. And he's a barber and he has his real estate license, you know. So, but some people, they made the best out of what was given to them.
Right.
And some people some people can't function, when they're not used to certain things. They don't know which way to go. They don't have anybody to talk to them or to advise them to do this or go to this session and see what you can learn from this in order to do, And this is what has happened with a lot of people, and you see people that when you were in school, they should have been this type of person and should have been this. That person was real smart. They did this, look at them now. And it's not that they didn't want to, they just didn't know how to, Like, she and I, we used to drive for the churches. When they had conventions and stuff and everything, we had our grandchildren with us. I had my 2 little nephews, she had them in the car, and we taught them to open the cars, get the people, how to talk to the people. When we go to the airport, to pick them up and take them to the church and everything, and they learned, And then we didn't have to worry about them getting a job. Because they wanted money. When they got older and they were in school and stuff like that, we didn't have the money to give them, they got a job. Like my 2 boys, you saw.
I got one this morning asked me how he could pay his student loan off in 1 year. He used to come home, stay home a semester and work. And I kept saying, no, go on and finish. He said, I hate to look at that bill, So we're teaching him how to pay off his student loan so that interest rate won't kill him. That's what really hurts, the interest rate. I got 7 grandkids in college. Mostly boys. And they don't want, some of them got scholarships, some did not. And they don't want that bill. They keep talking about that bill. So we're trying to come up with every kind of plan that will help them pay the money back and fast. Just got them talking about it before I came here to one-on-one, another way he can pay it back, that we can help him pay it back. Because it hurts. That student loan is...
Like my grandnephew, he attended Morehouse. And the money that his mother had put in, she was a nurse here. And she had paid for the education, but he went out of state. And that messed up all, to a private school at that. And that messed up all his money. Okay, he got a bill. And I said, boy, when you go to, but now it's being taken care of because my church, Miss Weaver, she has a business. She hired him. And I forgot how long she said if he worked for her, it would pay off his student loan because she's a non-profit, whatever, and by working with her and everything, that would help because it would go toward his bills and everything. Because he was telling me, he said, I want to get another job so bad, but she done been so good to me and done did this and everything and all. She said, he said, I just got to stick it out. I said, well, just go talk to him. He said, well, I'm trying to get that bill paid. I don't want to go back to school. I said, okay. You figure it out. But they try, and they know that a lot of, just like her children know, and the ones that I've had, I finished with them because their parents passed, and I ended up with them, And the girl, she got all these scholarships from Joan. She graduated with a 3.8, and she went to UCL. And she called me one day. She said, Auntie, I said, what? She said, I'm on my way to, I said, girl, if you want to be back over there, we got you living on campus, we paying for this and all this kind of stuff and everything. I said, yeah. She said, I'm enjoying the airports. I said, oh, yeah. I I said, what? I said, why you didn't come to me? She said, because I know we was going to say something. I said, no, I was going to tell you what to do. But she has 2 honorable discharges now. She has a degree. She's going back to school because she's in the medical field. And she said she can't make the money here that she's making in Washington, D.C. And she got out in November as a staff sergeant. She has 2 honorable discharges. She was in Iraq. She was in Afghanistan. And one of the buildings when she was in Iraq, part of the building was bombed. And she went through some changes. I said, you need to see a psychiatrist. I say, black folks don't do that. I mean, they go to a psychiatrist. You don't have the money, but the government pay for it. Go to, you know. And so now she's going through some changes because her father just died. And I say, keep going, hold your head up, call me whenever you have to, but stay in school and stay on that job. But now she want to come back to Orlando. She's been trying to come back for 2 years, but she can't come back because she won't be making the money that she's making there. And she used to having that money and buying and doing and having, you know. Because last year she had to get a new car because her other car broke down, you know. So she keeps saying, I want to come home, but I gotta pay these bills. I say, yeah. You know. And so now she started back to school, and she's going now for the administration because she said in her field she would make half what she's making there. Because she have looked up the jobs. She said down South Florida is a little bit better than Orlando, but she won't come back home. I said, you don't need to come back home. Go down there, I can come visit you, you know. But, you know, you have to teach the kids. They'll listen and they'll watch what you have done. They watch what you have, you know, talking, you know, with other people. But you have to be there to help them.
You know, we didn't integrate here until 1967. That's when the schools, and that's when integration came along in the schools here. And a lot of kids did not like it because they were so used to going to one high school. They didn't know the advantage of going to another school. You get better curriculum, better books. You know, we used to get books from Edgewater High School that was 5 years old. We were 5 years behind. And I was so upset one day because a dump truck came and emptied all these books out on the ground. I'm in high school with a skirt on. And we had to pick up those books to take into the school. I still have one book that I kept on that day. You don't have to do that no more. You can go to better schools. But they don't want, it was hard. I wasn't living here when they integrated, but listening to the people that was here, they really didn't want it. And sometimes I feel like they still don't want it. You know, you have to take an opportunity, open up, take advantage of it.
And my 4th grade teacher, now, that's one person I really love. The books that we had, I think we had about 3 books in the classroom. You know what she brought? She bought newspaper, she bought magazines, and she would tell us, if you got a book or your mama don't want the book or something, bring it to school. You know, and that's what she taught us from.
And I read the newspaper every day.
And that's why
I read the newspaper every day.
I learned about the tulips. Hey, baby. I learned about the tulips, and that's my favorite flower. Because she would show us the difference. She taught us the gladiolus, the different flowers and everything, you know. And I talked about, oh, Miss Parrish taught us this, and Parrish. No, she didn't. I said, yes, she did. I'm going to Miss Parrish's room. I said, no, you can't come over there. We got enough. We just got enough for us, you know. And then another thing, she taught, we learned hygiene when we were in school. Okay, like if it's her day, okay, Earline, who you want today? Beverly? And she'll come and look at my ears and see if my ears was clean. open your mouth, you know, and sometimes you eat a piece of candy, so your breath won't and stuff. You hold your hand out, you look at your fingernails. We learned this. And then like if we, you know, like some people may have an odor under their arms and like that. Miss Parrish taught us they should get a potato, a white potato, cut it in half. Okay, this is yours. She didn't do it in front of the children, but we knew what it was for. So you go back there in the closet and you put it under your arm. We had a good time doing stuff. But nowadays, like when I used to go volunteer out in Jones with Mr. I always call him Dr. Phillips. Mr. Phillips, he was the and I would say things. He said, I can't do that. He said, if I do that, they it's these children's rights and everything. I said, I do it. And I would sit up under the veranda and everything, and if I see something that's coming, and they look at me on each one. And if you tell them, they say, well, like one boy, he had on these socks, and it was the color of the gay flag, but it had his football number on it. And he liked it, and he won. And he said, don't come tell me about my socks. I said, I'm not gonna tell you about your socks. He said, everybody, they've been teasing me all day about my socks. I said, you like those socks? You wanted those socks? I said, he said, my number's on it. I said, well, you right. Wear every pride. And tell them I can wear whatever I want. This is what I like, and this is what my money bought. And he said, I can do that? I said, you can do that. And so I had one boy, he was mad because they were going to send him home. He said, if I go home, I'm not going to do nothing to get in trouble. I said, well, go talk to Mr. Phillips and tell him. Mr. Phillips is standing at the door peeping, sometimes listen to me talk to the kids. And he said, but he ain't going to say nothing, he's just going to send me home. I said, he may not. I said, you know what we used to do to keep from going home? He said, what? I said, we cleaned up the campus, we washed the windows. I said, that's what they made us do, we had to sweep the, and they said, y'all did that? I said, that's what we did, you know. So they did this, and I was gone for about 3 days, and they came, when I came back, where you been, where you been? And I told them, I said, I had to do things at home, because I sewed, you know, during the time I was doing something. They said, I'm not going to ever be late anymore, I'm not going to do that. I said, well, they had me picking up garbage and trash, you know, the children was picking at me, you know, the different, you know, but a lot of them, that's what they wanted to do, to keep from going home, to get in trouble, you know. But see, and then a lot of times, it's not like it was when we could go and talk to the teacher or go and say things, because most of the teachers, they were like teenagers over us before they went off to school and graduated and came back to us. You know what I'm saying? So we could tell them things, we could say things to them, and they would listen, and they would try to help us, you know. But nowadays, you can't do that, and it's so horrible because, like, okay, for instance, you young, okay, I'm 75, and you would come over and you would say, Miss Beverly or Auntie, some people call me names, some people, they got all kinds of stuff they call me, and you would ask me questions, and it's questions that you can't ask your mom, or you can't ask your dad, and you would ask me, I said, ooh, like I've been put in those positions, I said, ooh, baby, I can't do that. I say, you gotta talk to your mom, or you gotta talk to your dad, and then you ask them if you could talk to me, you know. And then I've had parents who say, you know, if they need to talk to you, listen to what they say, because they won't talk to me. But you got something, don't you tell my child that. Don't become like, you know, they don't want to hear. You know. And it's just different, you know, things are different. And I used to go with Miss Harvard when she would take the choir to different places and everything. And she would give me the worst girls, and they would be in the room with me. And I would tell them, okay, this is my room, don't go in my luggage, don't bother none of my food, don't do this and everything. You got yours and I got your money, and we'll do this. I had one little girl, oh, she was from Parramore. She gonna get, now I know they didn't like tapioca. So I bought some stuff that I could eat, and I know the kids gonna go eat it up. But I did have some other things that they could eat, you know. I went to sleep that night, I woke up the next morning, I saw the stuff in there. I said, okay, who bothered my tapioca? She said, I did. I said, you go buy me another one. And she said, I'm not gonna buy you another. I said, I got you money. I said, you're gonna buy me another one. And when we go shopping, you wanna go in the grocery store or wherever and look for the tapioca, and you're gonna bring me another tapioca. And I said, in the meantime, I'm only gonna give you $2 to buy my tapioca, and then when you come back, then I'll give you some money to buy whatever you want. Okay? She went to Miss Harvard. Miss Harvard told her, she's your, that's who you look at, and that's who you talk to. I said, so give me my tapioca. I didn't have no more problems out of it. You know, but see, when you let children just do, you know, you don't have to hit them. You don't have to say, you know, just talk to them. Because a lot of times that's what they want. They want you to talk to them. They want you to say things. Over there on Carter Street, it's a vacant lot. I used to be, when I was staying in the house, and the kids would come out there, I would holler. My car would be parked out in the yard, out there on the street. I said, if you break my window, you break my window at the house, somebody's gonna pay for it. And then one day I sit there and I asked them, I say, why do y'all always come down here in front of my house instead of going over there on the field? You know what they told me? They said, Miss Beverly, you on the one holler at us. You know, it's the attention. That's what they need. You know, but now, children cuss you out. To go lie to the mom and dad, lady come down, a man come down talking, and then they get killed or kill somebody behind stuff that's, you know. But she can't get rid of her grandchildren.
Everybody come through my house. I'm gonna have to move out and let them stay there.
One more thing I wanted to ask about was, the street names you were talking about, some of them that changed. Do you remember some of the other ones that they've changed throughout the years, what they used to be called, what they switched to?
They only changed Holden and let me see. They only changed Holden and Anderson Street. Right now, all the streets
I'm still basically the same.
right. All the streets are the same. But I believe they're gonna change a lot of them. I really do.
And what was that before?
Holden Street was Anderson Street.
No,
The other way. Okay, Anderson Street
became Holden Street.
became Holden Street, and
And
they made it. It's
Holden
one way.
But before Holden Street became Holden Street, it was Kentucky. Kentucky Drive, Kentucky something. Yeah. And that's the only one basically in
That has changed so far. Like I said, I think they're gonna make some changes.
And this was changed, but it kept part of the name. You know, it was Carver Court, but now it's Carver Park.
Wait, the other thing too was, I heard that you were both involved in the Jones High School Historical Foundation.
Yeah.
How did you get involved in that? Were you involved from the beginning, or did you get involved later on?
I had the vision doing the museum. I used to work at Jones, and the principal was Harry C. Wright at that time, and he told us, one summer he said, I want you to go in there and clean out this room and throw everything away. So we was in there, two of us in there, reading everything and throwing it. I said, wait a minute. There's some important papers in here. There's some important things in here. This can be history one day. So I asked him, I said, can I keep some of the things in here? He said, Tillman, you can keep anything you want. And that's how I really got started. And then I kept a whole lot. Then Leroy Arbret, he's deceased now. He was a history teacher at Dr. Phillips. So I said, Leroy, I got all this stuff in my garage for Jones High School, because they kept most of our work on microfiche. They didn't keep records of us. It's hard to find records for 1940s. And so he said, oh, you do? I said, yes. So we started doing research, and we knew that our friend remembered everything.
And then I also went to the library.
Yeah, and so we called her, and then we went. We called Kat Gordon to see can she help us, and she said, "Well, I don't know. I have to let you know." So then he started trying to find a place to put the museum. He was going to sell his house and move in with his mother to pay for a building. So we went back to Kat because they wanted to get rid of Jones. But then they decided that they would build a new Jones High School. So after that, we asked her, because she put in for us to have a room at Jones High.
Oh,
So,
wait now. Don't forget about the trailer.
oh, we got a trail. At first they gave us a trail. And we kept fighting, we kept talking about it.
And we was paying all this money for that trailer.
Yeah, for the
And we
centennial.
found out we weren't supposed to be paying it.
Because we was doing the centennial. This is how this book came along. Centennial, Jones was 100 years old. And then after that, she came back and told us that they decided the school board would let us have a room. And that's how we got started. To get other people to get involved with us.
But see, what happened is also, we were struggling, and so we asked Chief and Miss Racker, because they were older and they were our teachers, and we thought that they could tell her some things to come and help us, and they didn't want to come. They said no, they didn't want to be involved, they didn't want to do, y'all going to do whatever you want to do, and at the same time we was trying to get a place, and we had the trailer, okay? And so Chief kept saying, so I even told you, I said, Chief, I said, we need y'all to advise us and help us with the things. So we did this. So they finally came. And then all of a sudden, we didn't have the trailer. We was going to Miss Riker's mother's house, old house. And that's where we were having meetings and everything. And then we would pay off stuff as we go. And we would have little dances and stuff to earn money in order to help us with what we were doing and everything. And things that we could find from other people, and they would donate to us. This is what we would use. And so, after we got started and we did the solo with our money, now we didn't get any money from the organization because we had accumulated. We used our personal money. And like, I did a t-shirt. I had to shop down on Church Street with my African stuff and everything. And we used that as door prizes and stuff like that. So we had raised all this money. And we picked the children that we wanted to have the scholarship. That was good. We wanted children that couldn't afford to go to college, that wanted to go to Valencia and work and do stuff like that. And we gave them money.
$5,000.
And Ms. Arbor and they got upset. They was gonna take us to court because they wanted us to give them the money and let them control the money. You know, but my aunt, Mercedes Clark, which one of the first black nurses here in Orlando, they had her to call me. And I ran it all down to them, and I told them it was our money that we were spending. We didn't get no money out the treasury. She said, what? They letting us, thanking us. I said, And I said, the t-shirt that I designed, I say, I'm having it copied so nobody else can use it. You know, she said, what? She said, I said, no. And then the children that we were giving the money to, they were so happy, and they did go to school. One of them graduated from college and everything. And then they were saying that we were taking them like, oh no, it was a mess.
We got a problem right now about it. We really do. But we was trying to get off campus. We wanted a building because you can't go into a museum unless it's during the daytime, school time. Okay, you got people who come to Orlando on Saturday and Sundays. They can't go. And that was our main goal, getting off campus. We're in the process of now doing the birthday celebration, 125 years. Yes. We want to keep Jones. We're going to keep Jones. I know they're building around us, but we're working on it.
Even though we hear other stuff in the wind,
Yeah,
we're still trying to, maintain. And then we've had kids, I've gone to meetings, they want to go to Jones, but their parents didn't want them to go to Jones.
It's only one school over. Look how big this area is. One school. That's the Washington Shores, the Mitchell Homes, the Parramore area. They give them a choice. You can go to Edgewater or Jones. Yeah.
Because my baby, I told her, you can't go to them, you got to go to Jones. And then she had gone to Boone. She wouldn't have been placed the number that she was in school. You see what I'm saying? Because there are other kids, there were so many kids over there. See, she finished as number 6 in her class. You see, and then the scholarships that she got scholarships from 100 Black Men, the Deltas. She was a Delta Gen. People took, because they knew I had her, and they did it for her, And I told her, you're not going to make me shame. You're not going to make your mama shame. She said, but my mama knows. I said, I don't care. She's looking down and she knows what's going on. This is what, And now she's so happy that she did, that I took her. And she told me, I said, don't worry about it. I said, because if I had a daughter, I would have wanted somebody to do my daughter the same way.
You see, our age group, if you need a scholarship, we're going to give you one. We're going to find you one. The alumni are very good about doing things. We will help you get in school. You don't have to be going to a college. You can go to a tech school. It costs money to go to some of those now.
Those people wanted to be barbers, they wanted to be beauticians, they wanted to be carpenters and stuff like that. So if this is what you want to do, they want to do auto mechanics, different things, But a lot of kids not meant to go to college.
They're not. So anything else you want to take up with something else, let us know.
We'll try to help.
We'll try to help you.
But they didn't want it.
So we're back to business now. We're going to work on it. We're going to do more. And we've been at rest right now. We're getting back into it. Yes.
I appreciate you sharing your story with us today. That's all the questions I have. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share?
When you leave, I'm going to think of everything. I can tell you everybody's name that was on my street.
I can always come back and do another one. Just more to think of.
I like it's other people, older people that got a lot of, we interviewed, see when we was doing the historical thing, we was take the film, we would film them at their house. That's why we got several, we got several films. I got it. Where we would go to their house and they could tell us a lot about, because everybody really was living around here from Colonial Drive all the way down to
like this thing.
Yeah.
She said, "Oh, that's not right. This is what happened."
Now, baby, Now you got to get it right.
And this is what happened during that time. It's on the film like that too. And it's just real. I said, oh, that's Miss Stanley, Miss Billy Stanley. She was a beautician,
Yeah, you see, they knew.
but she knew everything.
See, they're
You
about
know what I'm saying?
Most
And she said, no, this happened like that, this happened like that. So, and now we need some people that are older than, well, they all gone. You know, most of us, but there are some still got their right.
99 years old, they still can talk.
And my aunt, now she's in Edenville, she's 101. In Wanda Theory, you heard of her? Her mother.
Zora Neale Houston.
Yes.
She's old. That's her cousin.
Yeah. Her mother, that's my aunt. Ellen, I think I got to call her when we get through and tell her she called me BJ when she's mad. But when she's happy with me, she called me Beverly. But, and she said, you haven't called me. And for her to be 101, next year, April, if she lives, she'd be 102 years old. If you listen to her talk, she walked better than I do. You know, but she knows so much, you know, and she knows a lot, and she'll, well, okay now, tell me about this, and then she said, you know.
So, if you can think of something that we didn't cover, because I know it's a lot that we didn't, you know, let us know, and I'll try to get some more people, you know, to tell you about this. This area has a lot of
History, it has.
a lot.
And I'll tell you, somebody else used to live here too. What's his name? Pretty piano player. Hey,
Not Stevie Wonder, but the older,
Rachel.
Yes.
Yes.
Ray Charles. He used to live here. He used to live in the back of what they call the quarterback club at the time. But now they have they was putting up a museum. This the Black Museum. This
The Wells Building.
The Wells Building. He stayed back. And he rode a bicycle. Yeah. He rode a bicycle. And it's a lot. And my cousin had come Gail. Somebody had called her because they found a lot of pictures with Count Basie, with Miss Pinkett. They had a lot of these people, how when they would come to Orlando, they could go to the hotels. They stayed with families, you know, and they would go and at different places, you know, and a lot of these people have pictures taken with these people. And Gail was telling me the other day, I'm going to ask her, don't give nothing away. Don't give nothing away. And she said, I said, yeah, I remember that, I remember that. She said, you remember everything. And Ernest told me the same thing. How do you remember these things? I said, because I used to be around the old folks list. But there's a lot. You'd be surprised when certain things come up. I remember that. I was a little girl, I used to have to sit and listen at
Very
this.
good at
You know. Like the what did they used to sing? The group it was from one part.
the Boyer.
Yeah, the Boyer Brothers. And boy, when the Boyer Brothers came to sing, everybody was at the church window. Everybody couldn't get in the church, Reverend Malone Church, and they was at the window. And those men knew they could sing. And one of them, I think, didn't he teach at Bethune music? You know. And it's a lot of people that came out of Jones, that came out of Orlando, that you'd be surprised. They came out, you know, like that Stocksport. Even though he didn't graduate from Jones, he went to Jones up until 11th or 12th grade, but he always, instead of saying, where did he ended up in a private school. He don't talk about that. He always talk about Jones. And he talks about God. And that's who he mainly helped, you know. And it's a lot. That's why I Western Side Mama. That she's very And Wesley, he was raised over there in Guthrie Park. But if you listen to some of his interviews, he talking about like he was a gangster on Parramore. That boy wasn't know that. His mother, they stayed in Johnson Village in Guthrie Park. You know, his daddy was in the military. And, you know, just a lot of people. You know, Curtis, when I was in Europe, I used to see Curtis on TV singing. He was an opera singer. And one day my husband came home, I said, you know what? I know that man. And he told me, he said, you don't know him. I said, yes, I do know him. And so he said, you don't know him. I said, that's Curtis. He was behind me, way behind me in school. He's she was his music teacher. And I said, and when I came home, I said, Curtis, when I was in Belgium, I saw you singing. And he said, well, why didn't you come to? I said, I know I can get where you were and everything, you know. And then I started making his clothes, you know, and I would make him outfits and everything. And he would come back and tell me he went this place and he came in wearing the grand move that I made him and how they thought he was somebody. And he would start singing and carrying on. I said, well, you're supposed to pay me. And so, but you'd be surprised, you know, once we sit down and really think about the people. What's his name, Gates?
Oh yeah, science teacher at the University of Maryland.
You know, he the one that broke the code to what's the science. I can't think. But anyway, you look it up, you'll see what he, and he came out of, it's a lot of people, you'd be surprised, you know, they came out of this area and everything, you know. But you just have to, right off my head, I can't just, down. When I go in there, everything be popping off, you know. And so, but anyway, it's just, you know, and the man that used to help us, that had the, and we honored him at the jewelry store. He was the only white man that wasn't scared to come and teach us how to play tennis, how to swim, a lot of stuff. He came, and then like a lot of people got their first credit through him and everything. And he was so happy when we honored him. We called and he said, are you sure? We said, yeah. Because he was the only one that would really
Free tennis lessons.
He taught us how
When I was
to,
in high school, he volunteered to come over and teach us how to swim.
how to do things. And that's when we had the pool over across the streets over there. He came out and he taught us how to do things, you know. And when we asked him, would he come, because we wanted to honor him, oh, he got so excited. He said, are you sure? He said, yeah.
He did a lot for us. On his time, free, you know. There's something we didn't have to do.
And he wasn't afraid to come into the community, you know. You know, he wasn't afraid of the black men, like people be saying, you know. But he wasn't afraid. He taught some of them to swim, you know. And we just had us just a good time right over there, Cobb Street Park. You know. See, I told you stuff will come back.
So if you think of something, just give us a call. You know, we'll tell you that that's a lot.
We'd love to come chat again with you.
You're gonna get, I'll get 2 or 3 more people. Your neighbor upstairs, she remembers a lot.
I don't know what she would have.
I call Mr. He's about 90, but you couldn't tell, he's a retired school teacher. I'll call Mr. McHill and see whether or not he will come.
Because he could tell you a lot.
Yeah, he remembered the first music teacher when they moved from
The old Jones.
The old Jones, Miss Mars.
And another one, Miss Woodard.
Yeah, Miss Woodard. He remembers all of them. And I think he would be happy ask him,
And a lot of the elementary teachers, I didn't know they taught at Jones until I started reading and found out they were teachers. They were some of the first teachers at the old Jones, and some of them graduated in the class of 26 and all this kind of stuff, but they all gone now. But a lot of stuff, until you start reading, you didn't know that, and you was right in the neighborhood with it.
because I was trying to think of the group that got us the library. They had to fight to get the library for us on Terry Street. And I forgot who.
Yeah. Well, see, it was right there with Farm Dependent by the church,
Right.
and it moved down near,
Shallow.
yeah, with Shallow. They bought the building.
We had a library. Only library we had was at Jones. So eventually, it was a group of people that kept worrying the city about building us a library. But I'll find out. That's my next. We do a lot of research.
And you'd be surprised, like, I found out a lot when we were doing the 100th birthday for Jones. I went down to the library, I got tickets, they had to pay my tickets. I got so excited when I found out how to find it. And see, like, back during the day, we were on in the paper once a week. And that was on Monday. Everything happened that week, it went into Monday's paper. Sometimes the paper would be a green sheet, sometimes it'd be a pink sheet, and sometimes it'd be like, you know, kind of yellow sheet. So when we see that sheet, you tell that, pull it out, and you can have the other part of the paper. And we, you know, everything is in there, what happened with the black people or whatever during that time. Now, when I went to the library doing the 100th birthday, I wanted to find out, you know, about sports. And I was so excited, I had to take rolls of dime, rolls of Knickers with me, and going through the machine that they have there. And I had to figure out how to find what I was looking for. So, you had to count, I had to count 6 days a week. The 7th day, the 8th day is the day that the black people were in the paper. So I would have to go through the thing and the numbers and, you know, and I would have to count and I would run it off and I would print it. I would run it off and print. I wouldn't even, you know, when I see anything that said colored school, anything said, then as we went on Negro school, then as we came on they had black school, you know, African American, you know. Like that, whenever I would see something like that, and see like, I learned to, I forgot what they call it now, scan the paper, read like that. I was taught that when I was in Denver. I forgot what they call it. But anyway, when you want to find something and you use one basic word, and you go through the word, you find that word, and then when you see it, that's when you print it out together. And so I had gone back in the 40s, where in the back of the paper where they would have the colored school, you know, the Negro school and like that, and I would find sports, and that's when I brought a lot of stuff with these guys that I knew nothing of. I was probably about 3 years old or 4 years old at the time when they were playing football and stuff, baseball at Jones, you know. And when I brought her, where did you get this from? I said, the library. The library? They had them. I said, yeah. I had to go through a lot of paper, and I got tickets, and y'all got paid. I think I had 3 tickets they had. And then I learned how to park, you know. And then I forgot about my handicap sticker. I got the handicap sticker and put it in there, and that's how I was able to not get tickets, you know. And I would be in there sometimes 3 and 4 hours, just running stuff off and run. And sometimes I would have so much paper on the floor, and I said, don't touch that. Don't touch that. You know, they'd come, are you okay in the house? I'm fine. And I would take it home, and I would cut it out. And I had made a book with everything on it, especially somebody thought it was theirs, and they But it was on display for the, during that time,
Yeah, we had it.
But it was this stuff that I know, and I keep saying I need to go back in there and find, since I know how to do it. And because everything over there is on so, and you just print it out, And so, but it's fun. And then you find stuff you didn't know. Ooh, I didn't know this. I didn't know that. Just like the property over here where Tinkerfield is. I keep telling Cheryl, she need to talk about that. Her granddaddy owned all that property. And he sold it to the city. Late man, Dr. Hankins, he and his farm, they own that property, and they went to the city and they asked the city to build, they would give them that land if they would put housing in there for the black people. And everybody in town moved up, late man and everything, because they was going in some nice brick houses, And this is what happened. And see, the park out near Western Cherry, it has Dr. Hankins' name on it. But somebody told me they ain't good at that. So, because they are going to tear down Western Cherry.
Yes. Griffin Park.
They're going to tear down Griffin Park. They're going to tear Lake Man.
You know what Griffin Park? The ones.
It's historical, supposed to be right over here on Division, off of Division, and what's the name? Avondale.
Yeah.
It's back up in there it's on the other side of I-4. But if you go down,
Gore.
no, over here. If you go down Anderson, Parramore, College Street, right over there, and go right, and it take you right into Griffin Park. You go in there, that's the projects. That's the project that I was
Right by
So I'm 75, so you can imagine how old the building is. It's about 80 years older. So, but it's historic, but they're gonna destroy it. And we've been fussing about that. They said it's a lot of mildew and all this. Okay, can't you treat it? And the way it's built and the way it is, you can take older people and let them stay in there.
But now they're saying the chemicals from the cars on I-4 that would damage a lot of your body. That's what they're saying.
But see, everything, I was telling somebody, I said, we got a sports thing. We got 3 sports stadiums on Church Street. I was called up. I say, well, look at the Citrus Bowl. What street is on Church Street? Look at the Soccer Bowl. What street is on Church Street? I said, look at the Magic Bowl. I said, where is it? Church Street. Now, the mayor's talking about putting the baby. He said it the other night. I don't know what y'all wasn't there. And
Town hall.
that town hall meeting we went to Monday night. He talking about he like baseball, and he's thinking about putting baseball. Where you gonna put it? We know where they wanna put it. And I done told them over there where Jones is, because they need that property. They need it for parking. They need it for other things.
But I was really upset when they closed Parramore. I thought that was very, to close Parramore, and these the kids from over here walk, some of them have to walk all the way around Parramore to go to ACE, the school in front of you see here. Those kids come from here, from over here.
And my cousin, every morning, she walks those kids. And some of them come to her house and wait for her. And she walks those kids to school.
He said, was it true? They don't have nobody to look out for me. I thought that they could have moved. I know the church do not want to sell, but it's a little short street right there by the soccer field. They could have moved it down that way more than closing Parramore. I thought that was awful. I really do.
And that's what I can't
Parramore got
understand.
history behind it. And like I said, I believe a lot of the street names will be changed.
And that was the only way I could find my way back home. When I was gone, we was in the circle. I think we stationed in Louisiana, and I think that's when we were stationed. And when I came back, all the streets was one way. Everything was, and so he kept saying, "You sure you live in Earline?" I said, "I live in Earline." I said, "Okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go back. If we see Orange Avenue," and I said, "We're gonna go Orange Avenue, and if I see Church Street," and I said, "If we go down Church Street, and if I see Parramore and Westmoreland, I know where I am, you know." And that's what happened. We had to go all the way back because we had come off of not I-4, but Florida Turnpike, and we had come off it, and we came down Colonia Drive. And when we got to Colonia Drive, we couldn't go down Orange Avenue because it was a one-way. So we had to go down to another street. Anyway, we got to Orange Avenue. So when we went down to Orange Avenue, we got to Church Street. I said, "Okay, here Church Street." I said, "Turn this way on Church Street." So we turned, went all the way down. And I started seeing stuff that I remember. And then when I said, "Come on down." We went across Parramore. I saw Parramore. I said, "The next big street ought to be Westmoreland." And so there was Westmoreland, and I saw the chicken place. And I said, "Turn left." And so I almost got out of the car and walked the rest of the way home because it was only a block or two. So I said, oh, I know where I am now. And so we went, he said, "Well, you know," so when we went across Jackson Street, South Street, I said, "Turn right here." He said, "We going up and down this little street." I said, "Don't you see Collier Street up there?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "This is the street." Because he knew that's when my grandmama stayed, and I would write Collier Street all the time. And so when I said, "That's my grandma's house." And we got out, I left him in there. Because I was home, you know.
Yeah.
And it was the same way like that when I came from Belgium. I was so glad to get back here. I got off the plane and I kissed the ground. I said, "Lord," I didn't kiss it, but I knelt down. They said, "What's wrong?" I said, "I'm glad to be home." You know, I'm glad to be home. I'm glad to be home. That's another thing. Now that has changed. Orlando Airport. Wasn't no big in this building. Now look at it now. If you ever drive through there and come up down the side, you'll see the little old bitty, like a little warehouse or something. That was the airport. Yeah, that was there. And I used to win flights up at night. Because during the day you can't see anything. At night you can see people driving their lights, and so I know I'm not too far. But when you're way up there, you feel like you're real, you know. But when I just see down on the ground, I think I'm fine. And I go to sleep, you know. But, you know, I've had some experience.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you so much for sharing your stories with us. We'd love to do it again.
I hope we helped your history.